Alright, so this is the follow-up video to my workshop that I taught at Evart, Michigan this past year. I've had a lot of people ask me to do a follow-up video on this, and I'm finally getting around to it. So this is on my workshop taught on odd chords and patterns. So the way this is going to be set up is we're going to talk about chords that are played outside the box, such as like a minor chord starting on a marked note, or a major chord starting on an unmarked note, as well as where on the bridge they lay. And we'll probably get into some diminished chords in here as well. So let's begin. We'll start out with the bass bridge. We'll section this up by bridge. So first we can talk about minor chords starting on a marked course on the bass bridge. Now you should have a sheet to go along with this. It should be in the description of this video. I will also put a picture up of the sheet on this video so you can see what I'm talking about. But the patterns I'm going to teach you are not specific to any one certain note, but rather a pattern. So we're not going to worry about note names. On the handout there will be note names labeled on the instrument, but I want you to not think so much about note names and more of patterns. So to begin, let's take this G. Okay, normally we'd play a G major chord in the box like this. Well, now we want to play a minor chord. So where is that minor third coming from? So the way a major chord is set up is a major third, followed by a minor third, and then a fourth. So we need to find, instead of a major third, we need to find a minor third. And that falls on the left side of your treble bridge, below the marked course. So the easiest way to get to it is take the course you want to start on, go across the bridge, all the way across to the left side of the treble bridge, go down 2 marked courses, 1, 2, and then go down to the note below that. So again, go across, go down 2 marked courses, 1, 2, and then go to the note below that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to start with our right hammer playing the G, and then our left hammer is going to come over here and hit the B flat, and then D, and then I like to come up with my right hammer again to re-hit the G. And that pattern works on any marked course. So let's try it on this C. So remember, go over all the way to the left side of your treble bridge, go down 2 marked courses, 1, 2, and then the note below that is your minor third. So that works on every marked course on your bass bridge. Okay, next we're going to move on to a little bit easier of a pattern. We're going to go up a course. So we were on G, now we're going to go to A. And if we're inside of the box, that A is a minor chord. So in the box it's a minor chord. We want to figure out how to play a major chord, and this pattern is very, very, very simple. Instead of staying in the box, we're going to move to this diamond shape. And we're going to hit the A, which is the note above the marked course. Then we're going to go to the right side of our treble bridge and hit the C sharp, which is a note below the marked course. And then we're going to hit the note above the marked course. And then we're going to come over and hit the A on the other side of the treble bridge, which is a marked course. Keep in mind that on this pattern, if you would like to, you don't have to come over to hit that A. You could always come up to the right side of your treble bridge and hit the A. So that pattern is very easy, and it works anywhere on the instrument, on the bass bridge, starting on the bass bridge, on an unmarked course that's right above a marked course. Alright, so now we're getting into a little more difficult of a pattern. So now we're going to talk about the course that is below a marked course. So in this case we're going to talk about a B. So in the box we have a B minor chord. So we want to know how to play a major chord instead of a minor chord. Well, if you remember back to the first thing we talked about, playing a minor chord from a marked bridge, and how we had to come all the way down here and hit this note to get our minor third. Well, we're going to do the exact same thing starting on the note below a marked course. So the way we're going to do this is we want to play a B major chord. So we're going to go on this B, we're going to look at the marked course right above it, go all the way over to the left side of our treble bridge, go down 2 marked courses, and then go down 1 more note, and that's the note we're looking for. That is a major third away from B. So go up, go over, down 2 marked courses, and then down 1 more note. So we're going to play this the exact same way we played the minor chord starting on a marked bridge. We're going to hit the B with our right hammer, and then we're going to hit the D sharp with our left hammer, and then come over, hit the F sharp, and then go up and hit the B. And this works all across the instrument, of course. So let's try to start on an F sharp. So go up, go over, down 2, down 1 more. And again, because our octave note is also repeated on the left side of the treble bridge, you can always hit that one instead. So let's do this again, but hitting this octave rather than this octave. Alright, so that sums up the major and minor chords starting on different notes on the bass bridge. Now we can get into diminished. And this is where things get a little interesting. The best way to map out a diminished chord is to first to understand that a diminished chord is just a minor third stacked on a minor third stacked on a minor third. So we talked about how a major chord is a major third with a minor third stacked on top of it. Well, to change that into a diminished chord, we're going to have to change that first major third to a minor third and then stack another minor third on top of it. So I'll break this down the way I like to play diminished chords. I like to do it in a way that my hands are the most comfortable. And so we're going to start on a marked course. So we're going to start on this G again. So we need to find a minor third above G, which we already did when we found that first minor chord we did. If you remember that, we came over here and found this B flat. So we've already found one minor third. And remember, to do that, we go all the way over to our treble bridge, go down 2 courses, and then down 1 more note, and that's your minor third. So we have that. Now we have to find the minor third above B flat. The easiest way to find that is to take where you started with your right hammer, which is a G, and you need to go over to your right side of your treble bridge to the marked course, and then down 1 note. So again, start on your G, go over, and go down. So that'll be our 3rd note. Now we need to find a minor third above this note. So the easiest way to do it is to think of, you know that any note from a black note going to any other note is a minor third. So this interval here is a minor third. But I tend to not play my diminished chords that way, and I will show you why. Because if I were to play my 4th note here, 1, 2, 3, 4, I have to make this big jump to get to that note. But luckily, the hammer dulcimer has a ton of repeated notes on it. So I can find this same note, which happens to be an E, right here. So instead of this E, I'm going to play this E as my 4th note. So sorry. And then we just need to finish it out with another G. And then we can come back down. this works anywhere on the instrument or anywhere on the bass bridge starting on a marked course. So we just used a G. Let's move up to a C. So that, to me, is the easiest way to play a diminished chord if you want to have it flow very well. There are a couple of other patterns that I use in some of my arrangements, starting on a marked course. Sometimes I like to, instead of go here and hit my third note there, I will take that note and move it to the left side of my treble bridge. And the reason I sometimes like to do that honestly, I don't know why I sometimes do that. Maybe it's just a habit. But that is another pattern. And of course that works everywhere. It's a little bit easier to hit those notes, but if you are playing something, depending on what note you want to land on, will determine which of those two patterns you want to use. And of course there are other patterns that I don't use as much. I mean, there are repeated notes on this instrument, but I tend to use one of those two patterns if I'm starting on a marked course on my bass bridge. Okay, now let's start on an unmarked course above a marked course. So for this instance, we're going to use an A. Now this is actually just as easy as the last one, because all you have to do is take the same pattern we just did starting on a marked course. I'm not going to say the G because in this instance we're going to talk about a C, but that pattern that we used starting on our right hammer, we're going to take that exact same pattern, but we're just going to play an A below it with our left hammer. So just hit the A and then play the pattern we talked about before. And that works anywhere on the instrument. So that pattern is pretty easy. And of course, like I said, there is that other pattern. That you can use there instead. It all depends on where you want to go with it and what's more comfortable for you. Okay, the last one, and really the easiest one, is a diminished chord starting on an unmarked course below a marked course. So we're going to go with a B. Now, what's interesting about this is there are two ways that I like to play this depending on what I'm doing. One of them goes very well hand to hand and smoothly across the instrument, which is what I will show you first. The second one more goes up and down the instrument and then back across and then back up. And like I said, it's whatever is most comfortable for you to play, and is also determined by what note you want to get to. So the first pattern we're going to talk about is the one that goes across the instrument. We're going to go across. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the B, in this case a B, or a note under a marked course. And then our second note is going to be the marked course adjacent to it. So we have our hammers spread out right now. And the objective is to keep the hammers spread out. Now what we're going to do is for our third note, is hit the marked course, not right above the B, but 2 above the B. So this will be our third note. And for our fourth note, we're going to go across the bridge, the treble bridge, with our left hammer, and then down 1 note. So together, all 4 notes. And then we're going to finish it out with an octave. I like this pattern a lot because it allows me to really flow through that diminished chord. It just flows very nicely. It's a little harder to hit the notes because your hammers are making some big jumps. But if you get the hang of it, you can really just flow through a diminished chord and use it to decorate. The other pattern that I sometimes use is, instead of starting here, we're going to move this note, which is a D, we're going to move it instead to above the B. So we're going to hit 1 below marked course, then 1 above marked course, and then we're going to come up and hit the next marked course, and then we have to come all the way over to the left side of our treble bridge to continue the pattern. And then so again, we have this little grouping of notes right here, and it starts with 1 below the marked course, 1 above the marked course, and then a marked course. And what's interesting is that this pattern creates a diminished chord on its own. We just don't have the 7th on it. So basically all I'm doing is I'm taking these 3 notes, 1, 2, 3, this pattern, and I play 1, 2, 3. And because I ended on this marked course, now I can use the first pattern we learned to play a diminished chord off a marked course and continue that. So remember, we're going to find a minor third, go over, down 2, below, and then look, we're starting on that next note is a course below a marked course, which means we can take these 3 notes, 1, 2, 3, and play a diminished chord out of it. So and overall, that is about all of the patterns of diminished chords I play starting on the bass bridge. And this should cover, I think I'm just going to make this particular video cover just the bass bridge, and then I will make another video covering the treble bridge, because this has gotten a little long. But I hope you find that helpful. Hope you found that helpful, and I will be putting up another video on the treble bridge soon. So thank you.